Small scratches like these happen every day in traffic. Tight parking spaces, minor bumps, or just one careless moment can leave ugly damage on plastic surfaces and everyday items. Welcome back to Dan Fix. Hi, I'm Dan. Today I'm going to show you a simple method that can restore damaged plastic using materials most people usually throw away. And later in this video, one leftover part from this old battery is going to create something much more powerful than you might expect. So let's start with the battery. Here I have an old 1.5-volt battery that most people would normally throw into the trash. But inside this battery is something surprisingly useful: a carbon rod. Old batteries can be dangerous if they leak or are disposed of incorrectly, so always handle them carefully and keep your hands clean while opening them. But for people who enjoy DIY or repair work, old batteries can sometimes become a source of useful materials instead of waste. Inside this battery, besides the chemical paste, there's a carbon rod that can handle heat very well and conduct electricity. That's exactly what we need today. Now, instead of scraping the carbon by hand, I want something faster and more consistent. I install the carbon rod into a cordless drill just like a drill bit. Then I prepare a piece of rough sandpaper underneath. As the drill spins at high speed, the friction against the sandpaper slowly grinds the carbon rod down into a very fine powder. And this detail matters more than you think. The finer the powder becomes, the better it can fill tiny scratches later. Coarse particles leave gaps while ultra-fine carbon spreads much more evenly across the surface. You can already see the black powder collecting underneath. Very soft, very smooth, almost like graphite dust. I'll keep one short piece of the carbon rod and place it aside for later because we're going to use it for something completely different near the end of this video. Now let's move to the damaged mirror cover. At first glance, these scratches don't look too serious. But when you run your finger across the surface, you can feel many rough plastic edges lifting upward. That's important because if those loose edges stay there, the repair won't hold properly. The filler may crack later or leave uneven lines after sanding. So I take a sharp utility knife and slowly scrape away every loose layer. I use ethanol alcohol to clean the entire area. This step helps remove dust, grease, and tiny plastic particles trapped inside the scratches. If contaminants remain inside, the glue may not bond strongly enough later. Now we move to the most important part of this repair. I pour a small amount of liquid superglue into a bottle cap, only a little at a time. Superglue dries very quickly, so using too much at once usually creates a mess instead of a clean repair. Next comes the carbon powder. Watch closely here because this step determines how smooth the final result will look. I slowly apply a thin layer of glue into the scratch, then immediately sprinkle carbon powder over the wet glue before it starts curing. Then another thin layer, more carbon powder. Again and again, slowly building the surface upward until the scratches are completely filled. This process takes patience. If you rush and pour too much glue, the surface may shrink unevenly later. Thin layers create a much stronger repair. And here's why this actually works. The superglue acts as the binder, while the carbon powder behaves almost like a reinforcement filler. Together, they form a hard composite material that can bond strongly to damaged plastic surfaces. The carbon also helps darken the repair area naturally, which works especially well on black plastic parts like this mirror cover. Now, if your plastic isn't black, there's another option. Baking soda can also work as a filler when combined with superglue. It hardens very quickly and creates a surprisingly strong repair layer. But for dark plastic parts, carbon powder blends much better visually. This type of repair is not widely known, but many DIY mechanics use similar techniques because the materials are cheap, easy to find, and surprisingly effective when done carefully. By the way, where are you watching from today? And have you ever tried repairing scratches instead of replacing parts completely? I always enjoy learning different repair tricks from people around the world. So leave your experience in the comments. So now we begin sanding. I prepare a flat foam block and wrap a piece of P400 sandpaper around it. This foam block is very important. Without it, your fingers create uneven pressure while sanding and the surface can become wavy. The foam helps distribute force more evenly across the repair area. P400 sandpaper is rough enough to level the hardened filler quickly. After a few minutes, the scratches are almost invisible by touch. But visually, the sanding marks from the rough paper are still there. That's why we continue with finer grits. Now I switch to P600 sandpaper. This grit is much finer and helps remove the deeper sanding scratches left behind by the P400 paper. At this stage, the surface already starts feeling smoother under the fingertips. Then I move one step further to P800 sandpaper together with water. Wet sanding changes everything. The water helps carry away sanding particles, reduces heat buildup, and prevents the sandpaper from clogging too quickly. It also creates a much cleaner finish. The only thing left is restoring the color and shine. I apply several light coats of black paint across the entire mirror cover. Thin layers work much better than one heavy coat because they dry more evenly and reduce paint runs. Now we wait for the paint to dry completely. And while waiting, let's go back to that leftover carbon rod from earlier. This part surprised me the first time I tested it. I prepare a 24-volt battery along with 2 wires that already have alligator clips attached on both ends. The moment the carbon touches the opposite terminal, the rod instantly begins glowing bright red. Sparks appear, and within seconds, the carbon becomes extremely hot. That's because carbon has electrical resistance. When strong current flows through it, heat builds rapidly, and the temperature becomes high enough to melt metal. This tiny carbon rod from an old battery has suddenly turned into a miniature welding tool. So let's test it for real. The metal melts at the contact point and bonds surprisingly well. Even after bending them repeatedly, the connection stays strong. Next, I repair a broken stainless steel cup handle. The carbon tip glows again, the metal softens, and after cooling down the handle, holds firmly in place. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I enjoy DIY projects so much. Sometimes the materials people throw away still contain hidden value if you look at them differently. Now the paint on the mirror cover is fully dry. I reinstall the mirror back onto the motorcycle, and the result looks completely different. Smooth, glossy, and clean again. Most people would never guess how badly scratched it looked before. And all of this came from one old battery. Part of it repaired damaged plastic, and another part became a surprisingly powerful mini welding tool. If you enjoyed this project, let me know where you're watching from and share your own repair ideas in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.